So, a lot of us talk about inclusive India, inclusive education, inclusive communication, and so on. So, today let me share some of my views on inclusive education. To begin with, I would like to emphasize that every classroom in our country should represent the diversity that India offers. We are made up of so many different peoples. There are people who have linguistic differences, gender differences, and then you have disability, cultural differences, we have socio-economic differences, and I think all that should be represented within the classroom. So that is the first lesson for the student to understand what a diverse and beautiful country our nation is. Secondly, I believe the teachers need to be trained to handle this diversity. Whether it's people who are blind, whether it's people who are deaf, whether it's people from other cultures, the teachers need to be equipped and empowered to handle that. And this specifically happens when the teachers training programs, the B.Ed programs and special education programs. Now, special education, very few people opt for special education. And I believe the best of teachers don't opt for special education. Special educators are not particularly well paid. But what is the harm in all teachers be trained in handling children with disability? There's no harm in that. And the impact of a single teacher handling all different types of children in the class is far more impactful in terms of results than having separate teachers for separate types of students. That is, you're calling yourself an inclusive class and an inclusive school, but if you're going to have separate teachers for blind students and separate teachers for non-disabled students, then you're straightaway segregating and creating exclusion within an inclusive setup. So I think it's very, very critical that teachers are trained to handle the diversity in the class. Thirdly, I think the focus should be on learning tools and learning skills rather than content. I think children should know how to gather knowledge. Children should know how to process knowledge. Children need to know how to analyze and present logically. And what is the content or what is the knowledge can be picked up at any stage. So the pressure of completing a curriculum is off the minds of teachers because they have to train children in using the tools to gather knowledge, process knowledge, and present knowledge. So that is the next point. After which I would say today we are living in, or we are moving to a digital India. Everything is technology driven. I haven't used a pen since I left college, or since my advertising days. That's when I last used. Everything is today on laptop or tab driven or mobile driven. So why are children in schools compelled to use their pen and paper and then acquire computer skills separately? Why can't learning happen using technology? Now, there are multiple benefits to this. Number one, you're preparing children for the digital world. Number two, the process of inclusion. Blind children, deaf children, children on wheelchairs, non-disabled children, all of them can work together using laptops, tabs, or smartphones. They can also start writing exams using laptops. Now, blind people, they use scribes. And there's a lot of malpractices that have crept in with this whole business of scribes. This is damaging the future and the prospects of the blind child. So I think it's important that all children start writing, including blind children, start writing their exams right from class, say 5, 6 onwards. So that by the time they finish class 12, computers become part of the system of learning and delivering content. So all citizens emerging from the education system become digitally literate rather, and hence become employable. So I think it's very critical to use technology when it's available to empower our children to become citizens and effective contributing and participating citizens of the digital world. Finally, when it comes to inclusive education, I've noticed that the notion among children is that disabled children need to be helped. Now, I think it's critical for all children to realize that we are not here to necessarily help each other. We are here to study together, play together, and enjoy together. And for that, you need to engage with each other, partner with each other, support each other, encourage each other, and move forward as friends in a classroom. This would ensure that the disabled child becomes as much part of the class as any other child. So, if we are looking at a classroom which is inclusive, a school that is inclusive, a society that's inclusive, then I believe that we need to have a teaching or a pedagogy which is universal. We need to have focus on the tools of learning. We need to use technology. And finally, we need to engage with each other in a friendly relationship so that going forward, we have a nation that is living in harmony, respecting each other, and encouraging each other. And that's when we arrive at an inclusive India.